What it do, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Axis of Combat podcast. This is episode 73. Am I right?
Yep.
In today's podcast, we're going to be covering 3 events. We got UFC Vegas 99. We got PFL's first pay-per-view. I think it's called Battle of the Giants. And we got a PBC boxing main event we want to cover. Like always, it's your boy, Ray Boogie, Ray from the AO, my co-host.
Hugo the boss, Hugo got next. You already know. And before we get into any of this, you already know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. That all helps the algorithm, and we want to hear back from y'all. Don't forget to hit that notification bell to stay up to date.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know.
First fight on the card. At men's heavyweight, we have the big boy, Robelis Despaigne, going one-on-one with the ex-Panther, Austen Lane. He was a Panther, right?
I think
Carolina Panthers?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Or Jacksonville Jag. He's a cat.
Oh, no, he's a Jag.
He's a
You're
cat.
Right, he's a Jag. That's right.
He's just another guy.
He's just another guy. Despaigne. He's 5-1, fighting out of Florida, but hailing and repping Cuba, 36 years old. Austen Lane. Oh, I should have just waited for this. Fighting out of Jacksonville, Florida, 36 years old. 12-5 overall. Well, we kicked it off last week with some heavyweights, Tafa and Barnett. Mm-hmm. Might as well kick it off again with some big old sloppy heavyweights here. We got Despaigne going one-on-one with Lane. I mean, what else is there to say? We got another rough one here, boys. I'm going to pick Despaigne to win this one. Austen Lane just has no chin.
No gas either.
No gas. It's just gonna be a sloppy, big old nasty fight. If Austen Lane was a bigger dog, I'd probably take a little bite. Only because in his last fight, I mean, it was his only fight, but in his last fight, he showed the propensity he can shoot. He can shoot well, and that's the only way to beat Despaigne here. You want to trade with this boy? He's got the better hands. He's got the Taekwondo background. You don't want the smoke with the big Cuban. The big Dominican took him out last fight. But this big Cuban is back. He about to smoke some Jags. Give me Despaigne here by KO. That's what I got. What do you got?
Yeah, I think this gets done early. Even if it gets to like the second round, then Austen Lane somehow manages to get him down to first. I feel like Austen Lane just has a gas bag. He took down Denise, who has 0 takedown defense and 0 grappling technique from the floor, and somehow still managed to get tired while being on top of him.
That's insane.
It's insanity, man. I mean, like, Austen Lane physically has all the talent in the world. Super athletic guy, super big guy. Pause.
Hey,
but
I mean, his name is the big boy.
Yeah, he's going against a bigger boy. And I know we have Julian Marquez, but this is the real Cuban Missile Crisis. I think he lands one on the chin early, puts him out first, second round. I think Despaigne by first, second round knockout is the play here.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have the returning Alice. I think I heard her name pronounced Ardelean.
Ardelean.
I think I'm going to call her Ardelean.
Yeah,
I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, but
I'm with you there.
Alice Ardelean, she going one-on-one with Super Melly, Melissa Martinez. Ardelean is 9-6 overall, fighting out of Birmingham, England, repping Romania, 32 years old. Melissa Martinez, Super Melly, 7-1 overall, fighting out of Mexico, hailing from Mexico, 27 years old. We got another battle of the mid. Low-level women's fights. I'm not too high on Ardelean. Obviously, they brought her in to
pump up Shannon Bannon.
Pretty much, yeah, pump up Shannon Bannon, try to give her a win. And even that fight was close. I mean,
Shannon's ass.
Shannon couldn't stop the takedowns, but she did enough on the feet to win the fight. Things I do like about Ardelean, I'll give her credit. She's tough. She sits down on her punches. She could absorb a shot. She's not afraid to get a little messy. Unfortunately, the opponent she's fighting, Melissa Martinez, also her second fight in the UFC. Her first fight was against Elise Reed. That wasn't a good look, at least in the first round, because she got put on her ass by Elise Reed. We'll speak about Elise Reed later. She's got good boxing, but Melissa Martinez has also got very good striking, tough as hell. She's Mexican, so she's got the +5 durability. I'm picking Melissa to win this fight. I am afraid that Ardelean might be a little more physical than Melissa. She did have that physicality advantage against Shannon. She's probably still going to have that physicality here, but I expect Melissa, who's going to have better output than Shannon, to to do better work than Shannon. Give me Super Melly here to win, probably by decision. That's where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I'm on Super Melly too, but I like in terms of betting this fight, guys, this is very low level shit. Anything can happen.
No, 100%.
There's a fight that I don't want to say I won't bet it. There's a very high probability I don't bet it and I don't touch it. I probably like the overs in this fight. That's about it. But
Never say never.
Never say never. We'll see how this line shakes up. Melly's a minus 155 to a plus 130 return from Ardelean, but I think it's rightfully lined, to be frank. I think
it's an accurate line.
I think Melly should be able to handle business. Melly by decision, but we'll see if I play it.
Next fight on the card at women's strawweight, we have the vet, Jessica Penne, going one-on-one with Elise Reed. No nicknames for either women. Pena, 14-7 overall. Fan out of Laguna Hills, California, 41 years old. Elise Reed, 7-4 overall, fighting out of Princeton, New Jersey, 31 years old. This feels like a fight that I feel like they're trying to set up for Elise. I just don't think I don't think she's gonna win this fight. I know she's the favorite, and on the feet, I do trust her boxing. She's very slick. She's got some pop. She's got decent footwork. The problem is that she cannot defend a takedown. She's literally been taken down in every single UFC fight she's ever fought in her life. Jessica Penne, that's her path. The easiest path to victory here. I like the dog here in Penne. I think she gets it done. The common opponent that they both have, or at least the most recent one, is Godinez. Penne was able to ride out Godinez with her grappling. And I know MMA math doesn't work all the time, but grappling was key in that one. Elise Reed fought Godinez. And this is why I like doing tape, because I forgot what happened to Elise Reed in that fight.
She got bullied.
Godinez beat the shit out of Elise Reed. She picked her up and put her down. It was like watching a pit bull attack a chihuahua. That dog was getting flung everywhere.
Have you seen a pit bull attack a chihuahua? Me neither.
Me neither.
I know it ain't good, I promise you.
And that's just the biggest thing. I understand why they're making Elise Reed a favorite here. She's got the boxing. If she keeps the fight in the stand-up, she wins. The issue is she likes to engage in the clinch, and that's something you don't want to do with Pena. Pena's got decent shots. I know she's older and probably can't take a shot, but she will be taking shots. And I got to go with the grappling upside here in Pena. I'm going for the upset. I like Pena for the win. What about you?
Penne.
I keep saying Pena.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Penne.
But
I got to think pasta. I'm hungry.
I think I understand the line because, yeah, they have the mutual opponent in Godinez, but Godinez just turns her brain off and on sometimes. And Godinez looks like a world beater and a world champion one night and then like a mid-level fighter another night.
You're not wrong.
I think she could beat Jessica Penne on a rematch. I don't want to look too much into that. Elise Reed, I understand why she's the favorite. I just feel like Jessica, as bad as her entries are in the wrestling, she's going to be able to get this fight to the floor at some point and or cage push and get her back, which she's very good at doing too.
Yes.
And if she can get her back and she'll jump on her back or jump guard.
Like she did Godinez.
I feel like she can exploit some areas from Elise Reed that are very like glaring.
Exploitable.
Yeah. Give me Jessica Penne for the upset as well. I'm with my brother here.
Next fight on the card at women's bantamweight, right? This is bantamweight? This is bantamweight. We have La Pantera, Joselyne Edwards going one-on-one with Tratora, Tamires Vidal. We have the Tractor. Or does it translate exactly to Tractor?
I think so. I would think so.
The Tractor versus the Panther?
Yeah.
Man versus machine? Damn, this is violent. Edwards, 13-6 overall, fighting out of Panama, hailing from Panama, 29 years old. Vidal, 7-3 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 26 years old. This is the fight that I low-key been kind of wanting to see. I know it's a low level, but for some reason, I always thought these women were going to cross paths. Don't ask me why I wanted to see this fight. This is not going to be a good fight, in my opinion.
I don't think it's going to be terrible.
I don't think it's going to be terrible either. I just, for some reason, I just thought I could see these two fighting eventually. I don't know why. It's just one of those things where I just saw it.
Yeah, I understand you're worried about it being bad. I don't think it's gonna be bad though, because they both strike. They're both gonna strike.
I don't know where you're leaning, but I'm gonna be leaning Joselyne here.
La Pantera. I'm choosing the cat.
La Pantera. I'm going
I want
cat.
the big cat. Hey, pause.
I want the
big cat.
The big cat, huh?
La Pantera.
Shit. I'm going Edwards here. I think she's got the cleaner striking. I think she's got the grappling upside. The things I do worry about in this fight, and this goes for both women. The decision making can be questionable on both sides. That being said, Edwards has got more tools, and she's got the experience and
the wrestling upside.
She's got the wrestling upside.
Yeah.
Tamires, to her credit, she's probably got better jits.
And
she
more
hasn't
power.
really shown it. She definitely sits on her punches.
Correct.
100%. She's going to hit harder between the two. And Edwards has hit the ground on multiple occasions. If it stays standing, I think it's going to be a fun fight. If it gets to the ground, go get some popcorn, go walk your dog, do something else, because it's going to get gross.
Go to the bathroom if you need to.
Yeah, just give me Edwards here. In terms of a bet, I don't know. Whatever. What do you got?
Yeah, I can't get around to the to Joselyne Edwards minus 225 line. I feel like if this line gets up to plus 185, you bet. I mean, if you get up to plus 200 for Vidal, you play it on system. It's like a system play just because it's women's MMA. It's low level women's MMA.
The thing is, I don't know. For me,
I don't like Tamires. I don't like her style. No, not her as a person. Just like her style, how she approaches fights.
Dude,
Joselyne's the more complete fighter, but women's MMA.
Vidal got hit in the boob twice in 2 different fights. One against Rendon, right? And I don't know what it is. I've been hit in the breadbasket before. Shit ain't fun. Don't know what it feels like to get hit in the melons. Don't know. But it's not a foul. They don't consider that a foul.
Which is crazy, yeah. I heard it's very sensitive, from what I understand.
She was able to get a timeout in that Rendon fight, right? Mm-hmm. She tried to use the same thing again in the Melissa Gatto fight, her last fight.
Got teed off on.
And the referee was like, that's not a foul. And that gave Melissa her first TKO victory. There's something about her where it's like, it's so low effort with,
yeah.
Like she's in there just to collect the check sometimes. I
almost hope Tamires is talking shit to Joselyne, because then I'll be more inclined to pick Joselyne, because she gets up for girls that are talking trash to her. So, yes. And I think I want to play her. I just don't like this minus 225 line. I'm going to say by decision, but I wouldn't rule out a sub here either, just because Vidal's horrible on the floor, in my opinion. Horrible.
I don't disagree.
I think Joselyne can control her, but I think Joselyne's been leveling up her game. I haven't seen those same improvements from Vidal, and Vidal been controlled by Rendon, who Rendon is not a good wrestler. I'm just being honest with you. Joselyne's got way better entries than that girl. So give me Joselyne Edwards. Don't know how I'm gonna bet it. May not bet it. Who knows? Low level. I might just play Vidal just because she might hit plus 200, and I think this fight could go to a split. So, but give me Joselyne Edwards as the lead.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have Superman Brad Katona going one-on-one with Jean Matsumoto. I paused. I had to make sure I was saying his name right. I was going to say Katona. 14-3 overall. Repping Ireland. Fighting out of Canada. 32 years old. Matsumoto, 15-0, perfect. Fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 25 years old. Good. I think this is going to be a good technical fight. Brad Katona is always going to be a tough out. Super technical. Looks like a real life Dexter.
Yeah.
So you don't know. His eyes are buggy as hell.
High fight IQ.
High fight IQ. Very cerebral like Dexter. He might be a serial killer. Katona. We don't know. He's got good hands. He's not afraid to mix in the wrestling. Historically, has only really struggled against people who can out wrestle him and kind of like limit his striking a bit. Jean Matsumoto, on the other hand, I mean, supposedly his weakness was wrestling. Was able to kind of handle Dan Argueta for the most part in his debut fight.
Was a stud low key, at least in the first round.
Very impressed with Matsumoto. If Matsumoto can get his leg kicks off, which Brad Katona doesn't really do too well with leg kicks, I think Matsumoto can get this one done. I'm going to pick Matsumoto here to get the win. It's probably going to go the distance. I don't think anybody's going to finish anybody here. Brad Katona is very hard to finish. Not really a finisher himself. Matsumoto's probably got the finishing upside. He sits down on his punches, hits very hard. Again, his key is his leg kicks. He gets his leg kicks going, sets up everything else. Close fight. I can see split decision here. But give me the undefeated Brazilian prospect to get one over on Katona. So that's what I got. I got Matsumoto. Probably by decision. What about you?
Yeah, I'm on Matsumoto too. I think he's the whole package, man. I think this kid's a real terror. I think he makes very calculated decisions there. Good leg kick, good wrestling defense, good grappling, good striking, and he has more weapons than Katona, in my opinion. This guy does everything Katona does, but better and in a younger body, in my opinion. With that said, Katona probably not going to get wrestled offensively in this fight. I don't know who Brad has fought that's been that technical of a striker that can give him real trouble on the feet. Since he's been back in the UFC and even in the tough house, I don't see it. This guy, Matsumoto's got the goods. I'm all in for him. The way he handled Argueta was impressive. Give me Matsumoto by knockout or points. I think that's how this probably plays out.
Next fight on the card at men's flyweight, we have Matheus Nicolau going one-on-one with, I'm not pronouncing that man's nickname, Almabayev. Nicolau, 19-4-1, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. Almabayev, 20-2, fighting out of Kazakhstan, hailing from Kazakhstan, 30 years old. I think this is another interesting fight. We got essentially two guys who kind of want to do the same thing. Not really, actually, now that I think about it. You know how Nicolau fights. Not the most entertaining fights, but he gets it done. He likes to, fight on the outside. He uses his footwork. He's got solid striking, solid jab. He'll keep you on the outside, and if you try to you try to press him, he uses jiu-jitsu and his grappling advantages, and that's how he usually gets his wins, right? Asu, new to the UFC. I think this is like his third or fourth fight, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
His striking probably leaves a little more to be desired. I think he hits hard. He's a little undersized in this particular fight. Even though Matheus has got he's gonna have the length, the reach, and the size. Don't know if he's gonna have the physicality. I don't think he's gonna be able to stop Asu from getting in on him and grappling, but I don't think Nicolau's going to be too worried about that either because his jiu-jitsu is actually really good.
Lights out.
Grappling fight for the most part. If this fight stays on its feet, I probably do actually favor Nicolau a bit because of his footwork, and I don't think he has to worry about getting flatlined by
his dustpan.
Asu here. I'm not going to say he doesn't get flatlined because Asu does hit hard, but he's not the most technical striker, and it's not really his game. He just wants to get in on you and take you down.
Correct.
For a matchup that I see mostly playing out on the ground,
dog or pass.
It's pretty much dog or pass. Give me Asu to probably win this fight because I could just see relentless power takedowns. I don't hate the dog shot on Nicolau. This is a 25 fight, man. Not a huge step up, but it's a step up in terms of the guys this is not no CJ Vergara or Jose Johnson.
This is a step down for Nicolau.
It is
huge. I mean, like he's literally in the UFC. He's only literally lost to Alex Perez and Raw Dog.
I like Nicolau as the dog.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, and I'm with you on this because he's the overall better fighter too. He has a better striking. And he has just as good grappling, if not better. The one area he's lacking is the wrestling, but I think Nicolau's going to welcome that shit. I don't remember the last time he's fought someone that's going to go after his wrestling. Yeah. A lot of people that fight him just try to keep it on the feet. They don't want to play that game with him on the floor.
I mean, this Almabayev fight is going to tell us a lot about Almabayev because, generally, jiu-jitsu versus wrestling, I tend to favor the wrestling. Yeah. I tend to favor the control over the the attempts and the maneuver ability of jiu-jitsu, right?
I'm with you, and I think you're probably gonna agree with me here. Just to conclude your point, I think it's literally I seen Jose Johnson put this guy in some bad areas.
You're not wrong, but it turned into a scramble fest. But yeah, Jose Johnson did win some positions,
and Jose Johnson's not Nicolau.
No, he's not.
Sorry, not sorry, man. That's what I remember, and that's what I saw.
And he didn't put. And what worried me is that he didn't put away Jose.
Correct. He had to grind that fight out.
So unless he knocks out Nicolau, he's not. I don't think he's subbing Nicolau.
No, he might even have a hard time with the rest, like getting him in certain positions, especially off the single leg, just because of the grappling. He might darts choke him. He might ninja choke him. He might power gear like. That's all the dangers for wrestlers, and he's gonna be smaller in this fight. Give me Nicolau, man. He's fought the way better in the competition too. Just give me Nicolau. I love Nicolau on this spot.
Next fight on the card, we got Battle of the Old, an instant classic. We got Darren the Damage Elkins going one-on-one with Daniel the Pit Pineda. Elkins, 28-11, fighting out of Sacramento, California, 40 years old. Daniel Pineda, 28-16-0, fighting out of Houston, Texas, 39 years old. So I know we're in October, but Halloween's here early. I don't need you to queue up that Perry because this is gonna be
People gonna bleed.
Ooh.
It's gonna get cut open.
Yes.
And somebody might die.
It's gonna look like a murder scene in the first 5 seconds of this fight. Both these guys bleed. Both these guys don't take damage well. Both these guys kind of want to do the same thing, essentially.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
Elkins, not that good of a striker. I would give Pineda probably that edge.
And the power edge.
Now, what I do give Elkins the advantage, hit zombie just like, I don't want to say zombie chin because he gets knocked down a lot, but
zombie cardio
and unkillability. He's literally a zombie. Halloween is early. Like I said, give me Elkins here for the win.
How crazy is that? Yeah.
And I think he's the slight dog, if I'm not mistaken. Pineda, his best chance to win this fight is early. If he can sit down on his punches, get Elkins out early, or if he plays the distance game with him. Don't grapple with Elkins. Correct. Because that's what Elkins wants at the end of the day. He wants to engage. He wants that scramble. If he does that, Pineda's gas tank is gonna be depleted. He's gonna be done by the second round if there's any kind of exchanges. Because Pineda's issue is that he gasses. Yeah. Also, Pineda not the best chin either, but I'm not really worried about the power on the Elkins side. I'm not gonna rule out the Elkins just landing one down the middle either on Pineda when he's tired. But there's gonna be a sloppy, exciting, more than it needs to be. It's gonna be a very fun fight to watch. Give me Elkins for the win.
Yeah, I'm with you. What I like more than a straight play, I like Pineda round 1 and then Elkins 2 and 3.
I don't hate that.
That's how I would probably play this fight. Because if Pineda doesn't kill this man, Elkins is going to come back and kill him. That's what's going to happen. Pineda has never won a fight on the scorecards, by the way.
No.
He has 100% finish rate.
No.
He is the author better be MMA. It's insane. And, but the thing is, he's also, if he's not killing you, he's getting killed. He is the ultimate action fighter in this, and probably one of the best action fighters in the UFC. I think Elkins is probably going to be the better wrestler. I think Elkins might be a little bigger than him. I also think Elkins might have the grappling edge. Fight ends by sub is an interesting prop here. The under 2.5, it's interesting because I feel like these guys are so durable it might go over 1.5.
I mean, I can see fight doesn't go being juiced. Maybe the crazy play would be just to play this fight goes the distance.
Yeah, because that could happen too. I just like the long shot props here. Yeah. Like in particular, I like Elkins 2 and 3, and I like Pineda round 1.
I like Elkins sub too because I think Pineda, when he's gassed out,
he knows how to move his head. Yeah. Like, because he did against Nathaniel Wood in that fight when Nathaniel was just teeing off on him in the last 2 rounds.
Nathaniel was fucking laying on him.
And he survived. And then if Nathaniel actually, went after chokes more, he probably would have got him down. Plus, Elkins' strategy is a lot like BSD's. It's kind of just using the striking to get to the wrestling, to get you to the floor.
Yeah, he's going to do one of these.
Yeah.
Just like this.
Yeah. In slow motion because he's 40 too.
Because he's 40.
Yeah.
Just to do this.
Yeah.
And once he's in on you, just strap the seatbelt in and get ready for the ride.
Yeah. Give me Elkins as well.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight, we have Bam Bam Brady Hiestand going one-on-one with Jake White Kong Hadley. Hiestand 8-2 overall, fighting out of Spokane Valley, Washington, 25 years old. Jake Hadley, White Kong, 11-3 overall, fighting out of Aylesbury, England, 28 years old. This is another interesting fight where I think if the fight stays on the feet, I think Hadley's got the advantage because Hadley's actually got better striking than people like to give him credit for. Jake Hadley's last fight, I mean, he needed that win bad. It was like a last-minute step-in versus
Colin Loughran.
Yes, Loughran. And I was in on Loughran in that fight too. And Jake Hadley was able to not only prevent Loughran from getting in on him, but kind of use his length and reach and just a good solid jab and footwork to kind of just win that fight. Congrats to him. He really did need that fight because he was on a 2-fight losing streak before that. Was kind of questioning whether or not he, like the Teofimo thing, like, damn, do I still got it? But got the win. He's going against Brady Hiestand here. Another guy I haven't really been too high on. I haven't been too high on either of these guys. But Hiestand impressed me in his last fight against Armfield.
Yes.
I think it was against Armfield.
It was.
He was losing that fight, but
willed it. He willed that win.
His wrestling, his striking is dog shit. I'm just gonna put it out.
Yeah, let's just put it out there.
It's gotten better than it used to be. I mean, he takes a year off. He's been fighting like once a year. This is the first time he's fought in twice a year in a while. But his wrestling is very good. His chain wrestling is very good. I'm gonna lean Hiestand for the win here, not with too much confidence. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm kind of back and forth on this fight. He showed me in that Armfield fight where he doesn't quit on himself. His wrestling is probably the best way to beat Hadley. Most of his losses have come to guys who can really out physically maneuver him. Hiestand, again, as long as he don't try to do any kind of cute shit on the feet, should win this fight. I think he's the favorite, and I think currently where they got it lined, I think it's okay. If it gets a little crazy, I don't hate a Jake Hadley play either, but give me Hiestand here. I'm not too confident on the pick, but I think he does do enough to win this fight.
Yeah, I'm with you. Jake Hadley likes to play off his back too much, in my opinion, which is going to get him in trouble in this fight. And I also think that Brady Hiestand is, he's got a dustpan chin, man. Like, to be frank, he gets clipped. The only thing I give him credit for, he's a dog, but he seems like he gets dropped every fight. Like, he died 9 times in the Garrett Armfield fight. And this motherfucker ain't no cat, because cats got 9 lives and they dead. This dude died 9 times and he's still here. I just feel like he's gonna outdog Jake in this fight. I really do. I feel like Jake has gotta, until Jake shows me that he can stuff the takedown and willingly stop the takedown and not jump to his guard, it's gonna be hard for me to pick him against these high level wrestlers. Brady's a pretty good wrestler, if nothing else. He's a shit MMA fighter, good wrestler. His grappling has gotten a lot better, and you see it in the Armfield fight because he was able to lock in the sub, but Armfield was also dead exhausted. Give me Brady Hiestand by decision, but I am not confident in that play at all. Probably not even gonna bet it, to be frank, because I'm not the biggest Brady Hiestand supporter ever, and I don't think he's great. If this line gets disrespectful to Jake Hadley, I will play that. I will also probably play fight ends in sub, but that interests me. That does interest me. Give me Brady Hiestand though by decision, but not with the highest degree of confidence.
Next fight on the card at men's bantamweight. We got a couple of bantamweight fights on this card, huh? We have Sumudaerji, the Tibetan Eagle, going one-on-one with Energy Charles Johnson.
Actually, flyweight. Or is this fight happening at bantamweight?
Actually, hold on. Let me back out real quick. And no, it's happening at flyweight. You're right.
Yeah, still a couple of those. So you're right.
I guess Sumudaerji's last fight was at bantamweight. I guess it was, yeah, because he fought Tim Elliott. Okay.
So he's moving down.
So he's moving down in weight?
Interesting.
Hey, hold on. Curious. Matt Schnell. What Matt Schnell fights at?
25.
So why the hell did he fight at 135?
He probably took it on short notice.
It might have been one of those short notice fights, I guess.
Regardless, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, Sumudaerji, 16-6 overall, fighting out of China, hailing from China, 28 years old. Energy Charles Johnson, 16-6 overall, fighting out of St. Louis, Missouri, 33 years old. This is a fight that Charles Johnson probably should win, and should win not easily, but I like the Charles Johnson side here a lot, mainly because of the grappling and wrestling upside. Sumudaerji, very good striker, has a lot of tools, likes to use elbows, uses his kicks very well, hits hard, very fast on his feet, very light on his feet, has trouble with grapplers.
Yeah.
Literally every one of his every one of his losses are by submission. Charles Johnson has a clear path here. Charles Johnson's got, he's got very good wrestling. He's also a very good stand-up. He's got very good boxing.
Good cardio too.
Good cardio. He should be able to handle Sumudaerji here, and outside of Sumudaerji just straight up cold cocking and sleeping Charles Johnson, I don't think Charles Johnson loses this fight. Charles Johnson loses this fight is because of Charles Johnson.
Yes.
So give me Charles Johnson here. He should be able to take down Sumudaerji. He should probably get a sub here. Everybody else has gotten a sub. But give me Charles Johnson for the win. I'm not too...
Submission of points.
Submission of points. I kind of like that. You're right.
It depends on the line, obviously. But
I mean, it's tough because I don't even want to rule out knockout, because in Charles Johnson's last fight, they didn't think he was going to knock out Josh Van and pieced him up in the third round. I was surprised. That one took me by surprise. So.
I agree.
But I got Charles Johnson. What about you?
I'm with you for all the reasons you listed. I think Charles Johnson has a very clear path here. Sumudaerji went to war with Matt Schnell, and Matt Schnell, I feel like, took a few years off of his life.
What a classic round two.
Yeah, that was one of the craziest round twos I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God, love that.
One got melted, and the other one got melted, then the other one got on top, then the other one got on top, then the other one finished. Pause.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah. That's what happened. Watch it, I'm telling you.
Watch it. I watched it twice.
Oh God.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm with you on Charles Johnson here. I think he has a clear path to victory. I think he's just the overall better fighter, and I think Sumudaerji is, besides the stand-up, as you mentioned, I don't know how else he's going to win this fight. He has to kind of knock him out, and good luck, because I don't think anyone else has knocked Charles Johnson out of the UFC, unless I'm bugging. Has Charles Johnson been knocked out?
I don't think he's ever been knocked out. No, he hasn't. 6 wins by KO, none by... All his losses are by decision.
Yeah, and by the way, a couple of them 2 elite wrestlers, so I'm going to go Charles Johnson here, probably by submission or points.
Next fight on the card, and is currently constituted the co-main event of the evening at bantamweight, we have Puerto Rico's own, Boston's own, Raufeon, no nickname, going one-on-one with the Matrix, Kyler Phillips. Raufeon, 20-8 overall, fighting out of Boston, Massachusetts, 37 years old. Kyler Phillips, the Matrix, 12-2 overall, fighting out of Phoenix, Arizona, 29 years old. This fight, I'm having trouble really nailing down a side. Raufeon has lost 4 of his last 5. Now, if you look a little deeper into that, he's literally lost to the who's who of the fucking division.
Correct.
My biggest question with Kyler Phillips is 2 things. Has he really shored up his cardio issues? Because I know he starts hot historically and gets tired a little late into the fight, particularly the 3rd round. I think he hasn't won a 3rd round in the UFC. I could be mistaken. Actually, his last fight he did. His last fight was against Pedro Munoz, where he kind of just didn't use any grappling in that fight, but kind of just put on a, not a masterclass, but, he showed, hey, man, I'm fucking here, and whooped Pedro Munoz on the feet for 3 rounds. The question I have about Raufeon is Rob washed? I mean, he's getting older. Losing 4 or 5 is never a good look, even though he has lost to the creme of the creme.
Chin is questionable.
Chin is always questionable. Raufeon's always hitting the ground in the majority of his fights.
Winning the round until he gets clipped, which is rough.
Yes.
Like, it's annoying because you figure just get hurt at the beginning of the second, so we just know where you're at.
Now he does. Now he does have a win in between those 2 losses that he sandwiched in between. That was against Yanez.
Yeah.
Or Yanez.
That was exploitable.
I don't think Kyler Murray. I'm thinking Arizona Cardinals. I don't think Kyler Phillips is Yanez.
No.
He's better. Way more tools. He's got grappling and wrestling upside. He's got quick hands. I'm very impressed with Phillips. He's a very good fighter. Also has wins over Song Yadong. They were actually trying to match up Font with Song Yadong.
Oh no!
Probably would have picked Song there. Give me Kyler Phillips to win here, and that kind of sucks to say. I think Kyler should have enough moments in this fight probably to win a decision here. I'm looking for a way to bet Rob because it's not a step down. When you compare it to his other losses, it's a step down, but
it's not a huge step down.
Kyler Phillips kind of belongs here at the same time. That's why I'm picking Kyler to win, but in terms of a bet, haven't really analyzed how I want to approach this one. I am looking for a way to bet Rob. That might be a little bias kicking in. I like Rob. That's my boy. Give me Kyler Phillips to win, probably by decision. What about you?
Yeah, as you can tell, we're huge Raufeon supporters in this podcast because he's body, so...
Hey, gotta rep the body, Bobby.
We love him. If you had to tell me who is a tough fight for him outside of the top 5, this is one of them.
It is.
I think Kyler is probably the better wrestler, bigger puncher. Rob, not as durable as he used to be. Was never too durable, but definitely not durable now. Kyler Phillips is a guy who's just always suffered from inactivity. Now he's active, and I feel like he's kind of catching people by surprise. If you understand if you watch him, you understand how good he is. He makes a lot of good decisions, very high fight IQ. I think it's a tough fight for Rob. I think Kyler Phillips is probably going to win this by decision because I don't know if he hits precise enough to catch Rob clean. And I don't think he hits hard enough where if he hits Rob from an angle, he's going to drop him.
I think if he does knock out Rob, it'll probably be head kick because the way Kyler throws them legs up, he throws them up quick. There's no telegraph on him. He throws it hard.
I don't hate the Rob late props here.
No, I don't.
Points my brother made because Rob has shown that he can finish, and especially if there's urgency, especially if he wants to remain relevant. If this guy gets tired at any point in that 2nd, 3rd round, and with Rob's gas tank and his jab and his boxing capability, he can get him out of there. So I like Rob props late, but if you're asking me gun to the head, I gotta roll with Kyler Phillips, unfortunately, for the decision.
Next fight on the card, and as currently constituted the main event of the evening for UFC Vegas 99, we have Michel Pereira going one-on-one with Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Pereira, 31-11, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 31 years old. Anthony Hernandez, 12-2 overall, fighting out of Cali, 31 years old. This fight, I have a hard time. Keep going back and forth. In one hand, I mean, Michel, Tekken character, real life, straight out the fucking video games. Dude is dynamic, athletic, hits fucking hard. He's a finisher. Pause. He's a go-getter. This guy is a savage. On the other hand, Anthony Hernandez, fucking dog, excellent grappler, underrated striking, not the best striking, but it's a little underrated. It does the job, but his bread and butter, getting you down, cueing that Barry Manilow, taking you out. That's what he wants to do. That's Fluffy. I'm going to be slightly leaning Hernandez here. I think Anthony should, in a 5-round fight, probably have the better cardio here. Eventually get Pereira out. I don't see this fight going the distance. Somebody's going out.
Someone's getting served, I feel, too.
Pereira, super dangerous early. I feel like he's kind of shored up his cardio issues, but he hasn't really fought anybody with this kind of grappling acumen. If he doesn't get Fluffy out in the first round,
all bets are off.
It's tough because Fluffy, second round and up, he tends to turn up. Give me Hernandez here for the win, probably by sub. Don't know how I'm pretty sure you have a better betting angle for this fight, but give me Hernandez, and that's not with the most amount of confidence because Pereira, fucking dangerous.
So when we go through bets, right, we try to find certain spots that we feel like we can make big bets. When I initially saw this fight, I was very close to committing a max bet on Hernandez. The reason being is because he has a relentless gas tank, relentless with the takedown attempts, and I know he's going to gas out Pereira first any day of the week. His jiu-jitsu is lights out, subbed Jacare, broke his arm. He had some legitimate tap outs, and I think he got a Rodolfo Vieira as well. This I thought was a max bet opportunity until I started watching the tape. Pereira has shored up a lot of his explosive movements. He's worked a lot better off his back foot. And the one thing I seen in the tape with Fluffy, he's very weak to the body, man. And Pereira, very good at attacking the body with lateral attacks, teeps up the middle, roundhouse kicks to the side, as well as punching the body. He does all of it. Also can hit you with a spinning back kick, get you out of there as well. He's that dynamic. With that said, I gotta lean Fluffy here because I think he does have underrated striking. I think he closes the distance a lot better than people want to give him credit for. I think he lost his UFC debut because it was his UFC debut. I think if he fought that guy again, he probably beats him. And he lost to Kevin Holland, but Kevin Holland body shot once again. In his last couple of fights, he fought Edmund Shabazian. Shabazian went to the body. He ate it well. I think I don't want to say he shored it up because I think Pereira is a much more explosive fighter than Shabazian in space and with his lateral attacks up the middle and up to the body. I just think Hernandez is going to be able to withstand him, break him down, and take him into deep waters and probably sub him in the third or fourth round of this fight. In finale, I think the way to bet this fight is a live bet on Hernandez because I think he's probably going to lose the first round.
Probably, yeah. Michel's going to come out like a fucking freight train, I think.
Yeah, or he's just going to be able to keep him on the outside. He's going to give him some resistance with the wrestling. If you want to play this fight, I think it's a live bet on Hernandez. I don't think you play this any earlier unless Hernandez just comes at him and just drowns him. Then all bets are off. I just don't see that happening. I think Hernandez is going to get to him later in the fight. You play Hernandez late props, a Pereira first, second round props. If Pereira can't get him out by the second round, I think Fluffy's going to drown him. And that's when you play him. You either play him in the second or you play him heading into the third. And that's how you play Fluffy. So get this done on a live bet shot. That's how I think I'm going to be playing it. And it's crazy how you do the tape study and you come down from a max bet play to a live bet play. And that just goes to show you my process in terms of why you need to do tape when you make bets and know what you're doing. This fight is someone's going to get served. It's either going to be Hernandez early or Pereira mid to late rounds. Fight doesn't go. Good parlay piece. Violence. Give me Fluffy though for the slight lean. I think he's going to figure this out, get it done. and get into the top 10, top 5 contention. Not sure I'm going to play it, but Fluffy Hernandez is the lead.
And that does it for UFC Vegas 99. We're going to jump right into the PFL, the first ever PFL pay-per-view, Battle of the Giants. And we're going to kick it off with the prelim spot, the main prelim spot. There's a couple fights here. We're going to talk mainly the main prelim and all the title fights. I'm going to start off with the prelim. Raufeon Stots going one-on-one with Marcos Breno. And this is at bantamweight. We have Stots, Super Stots, 20-2 overall, fighting out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 35 years old. Marcos Breno, 15-3 overall, fighting out of Brazil. Actually, no, fighting out of Connecticut, but hailing from Brazil, 26 years old. I'll start with the Breno side. Very good striker, excellent boxing, fast hands, hits hard, sits down on his punches, decent footwork, dynamic. I like a lot of what Breno brings. I just don't know what he's bringing is going to be enough for Stots. I'm picking Stots here for the win solely because of the wrestling. Breno had some success with defending takedowns, but Stots is just another type of wrestler. I do worry about Stots' chin.
Just a little.
He is very liable to get caught. I mean, Patchy Mix hit him with a knee, and we remember that KO. That shit was
nasty.
A highlight.
Marab Dalishvili knocked him out too, by the way.
Marab, oh, that's right. Yeah, that's the only ever loss, right?
Am I right? And you guys seen how powerful Marab hits.
Yeah. So, listen, as long as he's able to, he plays it safe in his entries, gets in on Breno. I think he gets Breno out. I'm going to lean Stots. I'm going to lean sub decision. Don't know how this line looks. It's probably a little blown out. I also worry about his age. He's 35 years old, but give me Stots here for the win. Sub or decision is probably where I'm going to lean. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Stots is a stud. The UFC was close to signing Stots until Marab took him out, to be frank, which is pretty crazy.
That was a Contender Series fight, right? Or
no, I think it was I think Dana White looking for a fight. Yeah, okay. And it's pretty crazy how good Stots is, and no one talks about him. He is a stud wrestler.
I love him on the mic as well.
If he could avoid Breno has to be able to implement his striking game plan. But Stots has seen this before. Breno hasn't seen something like Stots before. I think Stots is another level of wrestler that he hasn't been exposed to. And Stots is a top contender in this weight class alongside Patchy Mix. And I still think it's his time. So yeah, I'm with you. I think Stots via submission or decision is the play. I just have a hard time seeing how Breno's going to be able to deal with his wrestling. I really do. And even if he looks good in the first round, just the second and third round, what's he going to do? Like, it's just going to be the repeat shoot. And I just have a hard time seeing how Brennan's going to be able to deal with the spamming of the takedowns. Give me Stots by submission or decision. That's probably how I would play it, but we'll see how it gets closer because this line is completely blown out.
Next fight on the card, and probably kicking off the main card, we have a fucking banger. We have AJ McKee, the mercenary, going one-on-one with big news, Paul Hughes. McKee, 22-1, fighting out of Lakewood, California, 29 years old. Paul Hughes, fighting out of Ireland, hailing from Ireland, 12-1 overall, 27 years old. I'll start with the Paul Hughes side. You know, Cage Warriors background, big Irish following. Surprised the UFC didn't sign this guy. A lot of people were surprised the UFC didn't sign this guy. His striking is very good, very dynamic. Sits down on his punches, uses his kicks very well. Solid boxing, hits hard. Not afraid to mix in the grappling. Will go to the back. His jiu-jitsu looks pretty good as well. Very good fighter coming out of Ireland. Maybe the best fighter I've seen coming out of Ireland in a while, to be honest. Now he's got to fight the big boys, and he's got to fight AJ McKee here. I'm picking McKee here to win, solely because, again, like the Stots fight, I don't think Paul Hughes has fought a grappler of this caliber.
I agree.
And hasn't fought a fighter of this caliber.
Morgan Charrier was able to get him down in a fight.
And nothing against the last Pirate, but, I mean...
He's not AJ McKee, man.
He's an above-average journeyman.
That's called what it is.
I don't want to disrespect, but that's what he is. Also, Cage Warriors in general, I know there's a lot of hype behind Irish MMA, and no offense, a little more bust than boom. I'm just going to be honest.
Let's call it what it is, yeah.
The organization is okay. The prospects that come out of there are good, but I think a little overhyped.
Especially in the wrestling department.
Yes. I think Hughes does deserve the hype. I think he's very good. I think he's going to be a ranked contender.
Striking's legit.
I think he's very legit. I just think just throwing him here against McKee.
Too much too soon, in my opinion.
Too much too soon. I think McKee gets this done. Another sub/decision. That's what I'm kind of feeling here. Give me McKee here for the win. Sub-decision. Don't know how I'm going to bet this fight, but I'm less confident in this fight than I am in the Stotts fight. If that makes any sense. Only because Hughes is legit.
He's the better striker in this contest.
He is.
I'll jump in. I agree with you. I think that he is the better striker in this fight. I think he puts his kicks together well. He's very fast with his kicks. His boxing's clean, right down the middle. AJ's a little more wild with his punches, but if you're asking me, I think AJ probably hits harder because he's going to be physically the bigger guy. I just feel like I see Morgan Charrier get this guy to the floor with a judo toss and an underhook, and AJ is good at hitting lat drops and then creating scrambles to get into his head and arm series, which is exceptional. I've seen a lot of fights with Paul Hughes where he gets into some of those grappling exchanges from the head and arm position and against the cage. And I feel like if AJ McKee gets you there, either gets a single and puts you on your back, hits you with a lat drop, or even just works to get to your back while cage pushing, I feel like all that's possible. And if AJ gets to your back, or if he even gets you in his guard, he's dangerous. But if he gets to your back, it's lights out, man. I think AJ McKee's probably going to get this done via submission, but I don't hate the decision prop either because Paul Hughes has never been finished. He is the cleaner striker here. I don't think he's a pushover. I just think this is a little too much, a little too soon. And AJ McKee is in the prime of his life right now. Literally lost the Pitbull fight only because he wasn't up for it, to be honest, because he smoked him the first fight.
Also, AJ, who I thought was 30, is only 29.
Wow, yeah. Look at that.
Just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I just feel like this is a lot for Paul. AJ McKee could come into the UFC right now and be competitive with the top 5 lightweights, including Islam Makhachev. That's how good he is.
I agree.
He is that good. And, you know, if you're telling me, if I'm saying that out loud, and then it's Paul Hughes, who hasn't really fought anyone in Cage Warriors.
Still got to prove it.
Still got to kind of prove it. Hasn't fought anyone with this wrestling or grappling acumen. I got to lean AJ here, man. I think AJ, the line looks a little justified with 2-1, a little over 2-1. I just feel like AJ is going to be able to exploit his wrestling and his grappling, man. And I think he probably lands a sub in this fight.
Next fight on the main card, and this is going for... They have this listed as, I guess because PFL doesn't have a middleweight division.
Yeah.
This is the Bellator Middleweight Championship. We have Johnny Pressure Eblen going one-on-one with the assassin Fabian Edwards. The runback. Eblen, perfect, 15-0, fighting out of Coconut Creek, Florida, 32 years old. Edwards, the assassin, 13-3 overall, fighting out of England, Birmingham, England, 31 years old. I'm going to lean Eblen here, unfortunately, and this is why. He was put into some real danger in that last fight. Edwards was winning that last fight. The only reason I feel like he kind of put pedal to the metal was because of a cut that he sustained in that fight. And if that fight would have went past that round,
fight probably got stopped.
That defense was in jeopardy. His O was in jeopardy.
Good on Eblen, by the way.
Good on Eblen.
Yeah.
He did what he had to do. Now, I think he doesn't make that same mistake, unfortunately. I think he knows not to fuck around with Edwards. That being said, I'm picking Eblen. But in terms of a bet, I don't hate Edwards at all.
Dude, this line makes no sense.
I don't hate Edwards because he was winning that fight. And as long as Edwards shows up locked in, which he, you know, maybe more so than his brother, he does show up more locked in than he doesn't.
He does.
I think he knows he almost won that first fight, so he's going to bring it. He is a live dog, in my opinion. But give me Eblen to just... cue the Barry, cue the fucking George Mikes, grind this one out, and probably win the fight. But that's all I got for this one.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm not exactly there. I think this fight is super 60-40, even 50-50. I gotta lean Fabian Edwards here.
I don't hate it.
Especially at this line. Dude, he's a plus 425. In what fucking world is he a plus 425?
In a fight that he was winning, by the way.
He was working
until like Eblen decided to turn it on.
One thing the Leon Edwards camp does is they work very good wall defense from the wrestling. And Eblen struggled to get Fabian down in that fight. Yeah. He did.
He had to literally empty the tank in that round to get him out.
And you want I don't want to say it was a lucky punch because I don't think anything's lucky.
Nah,
but
I think Fabian
was a little taken back by him just unloading like that and got caught.
The aggressiveness.
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, if Edwards would have made it out of that round, who
He wins
knows
the
what,
belt.
Who knows what Evelyn would have looked like, low key? Because wait, was that that was like the second or third round, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, I think it was 1-1. Don't quote me. I gotta rewatch it again.
Damn, I don't remember what round that was. You're right. I think it was.
But I do think that I just think that like.
Who knows?
How is he a plus 425 when the fight was that close?
Yeah.
And he damaged him with an elbow in the fight and almost stopped the fight unless Evelyn like rescued his own O. And then Evelyn, you want the honest truth? I thought he lost to Impa Kasanganay. Impa Kasanganay is literally the uncrowned king of this fucking division right now.
I want to see that run back. If Edwards don't get it done here, Impa.
In 5 rounds too. Don't make it fucking 3. If it's 5 rounds, I think Impa beats the fuck out of this guy. I think Impa is the uncrowned king of 85, and he's working dudes at 205 right now. I think I'm gonna lean Evelyn, but I think he has a good chance of losing this fight. So it's a system play at 425. I think that's insane considering how the last fight went to have Fabian at 425. I understand Evelyn has the grappling upside and the wrestling upside, but had a hard time taking down Fabian the first fight. Fabian, like Leon, I expect him to come back better like Leon did against Kamaru, understanding the wrestling positions.
Yeah, he felt them out, so he's definitely. I mean, they both felt each other out. Pause. Yeah, this fight, they kind of know how they both feel.
Yeah, they're two dogs just sniffing around each other, sniffing each other's asses to see which one has the smellier shit. I think.
That was graphic.
Yeah, you seen it how they circle and shit. And
I seen how dogs circle.
Yeah.
Shit.
And these guys are they're gonna be dogs in this fight. Like, don't get me wrong, they're gonna get after it. I just feel like Fabian Edwards has the better smelling shit. I'm just being honest. Like, he has the better smelling dog shit, you know? No insult there. I just used the dog references and I equated shit, so I had to bring dog shit. Both of these guys are very good fighters, not anywhere close to dog shit. I don't know. 5 rounds. Give me Fabian, man. System play here.
Next fight on the card, and it's currently constituted the co-main event for the, I guess, inaugural women's featherweight title. We have Chris Cyborg going one-on-one with Larissa Pacheco. Cyborg, 27-2. Fighting out of Brazil. Actually, no. Fighting out of San Diego, California, but repping Brazil. 39 years old. Larissa Pacheco, 23-4. Fighting out of Brazil. Hailing from Brazil. 30 years old. Banger of a fight.
God, I don't know.
Kind of happy. You don't think?
I don't know.
Listen. First of all, happy to see Cyborg finally fight.
Correct.
It's been a while. She's been taking some little boxing gigs on the side, a little back and forth with the promotion and the promoters in general. You know, ever since the Bellator transition, shit's been up in the air for her. You know, they were supposed to set up the Kayla Harrison fight. Kayla Harrison dips. They were supposed to set up, what was the other fight? She was supposed to fight Leah McCourt.
Yeah.
Oof, thank God she didn't fight her.
She done dirty things to that girl.
My God, that would have been minus 10,000. The scouter would have broke on that one.
It's over 9,000.
But she's getting Pacheco. Wait, where's Vegeta at? Yeah, Vegeta, bam. But she's fighting Pacheco here, which I think is probably the better fight of what's left right now. I mean, obviously you wanted to see the Kayla Harrison fight. That's not happening. We're getting Pacheco.
I think Pacheco's the toughest fight for Chris.
And that's why I'm going to be leaning Pacheco as, I'm assuming she's the dog?
No, she's the favorite.
What?
Minus 135.
Okay, hold on. That stop the presses. I got to play Cyborg then. That's insane.
Yeah.
Shit, that's fuck. I wanted to play Pacheco bad as a dog.
This is a dog or pass spot.
I didn't know. This is actually dog or pass.
They're both minus money, actually.
Listen,
on a lot of books. But
Cyborg, again, we'll start on the Cyborg side. Accomplished, resume, pioneer, arguably the GOAT, right? That's how Clarissa would say the GOAT.
Yes.
The GOAT of MMA.
Yeah, I'm with you on that title because low-key, I know people are going to say, oh, well, Amanda knocked her out. If Amanda and her fought again, I think Chris beats the fuck out of her.
I would like to see that back. I mean, give her a shot.
Give her a shot.
Come on, man.
I would love to see the run back.
Maybe not now, but before, probably. Mm-hmm. Cyborg's going to have the grappling upside here.
She is.
100%. She's the better wrestler. She's got jits. She's got hands. Cyborg's a complete fighter.
Correct.
She hasn't really ran into anybody who's going to deny her outside of Amanda, right? Pacheco, on the other hand, very good. Improved. She used to be in the UFC. Her only losses are literally to Harrison twice, GDR.
Yep.
And Jessica Andrade.
Yeah,
by submission.
When she was smaller, she was much smaller.
When she was fighting at 135 at the time.
I think she was depleting her body to make that weight, but
100%. I mean, she looks way better here now. She took like 3 years off after that, after she got cut, and came into the PFL. Literally she debuted against Harrison, actually.
Which is crazy. Has
only lost to Harrison since.
Yeah, and then she beat Harrison on the third fight.
Made us a lot
of money that night.
Not only did she make a lot of improvements in her technique and
her wrestling
defense, she made us a lot of money. I won't deny that. She was like, what?
Plus 690 or some shit. Something stupid.
Sweet. So I was thinking, because I didn't look at the lines before this. I thought she was going to be the dog here. I was going to lean Pacheco as a live dog because this is probably the best opponent Cyborg has fought, bar none, in quite a while. Since Amanda. So, but she's the favorite. So
she's still playable at minus 135.
I don't hate it, but I think this is a pure dog or pass spot, in my opinion, because, again, Cyborg's the complete fighter, and barring the age and maybe the chin, I don't think she loses this fight. Pacheco, I was going to give her the strikers. Like, the way I saw this fight playing out was closer to the Amanda fight, where they kind of just, you know how Cyborg is. She's going to walk forward, straight fucking disrespect you. They're going to trade some punches. Pacheco lands the shot that she needs to land, rocks the shit out of Cyborg, and then she gets her out.
Larissa's the better boxer in close proximity. She throws tighter hooks. She throws straighter shots. If you could get the Chris Cyborg that fought Holly Holm, the one that kept her on the outside, that girl is unbeatable, in my opinion.
Yep.
And I think the thing is, you have to hope for that from a girl who's 39 years old, not active. Let's be frank. She hasn't fought in a while. Against a girl who, if she connects on her and Larissa could put her down. Thing is, this might be the biggest girl Larissa's fought. Chris walks around probably at 170, close to 180.
Yeah, this weight cut for 145 ain't the easiest on Cyborg either, to be honest.
She's huge.
And I know Pacheco fought at 155 at one point for Harrison, but that was for Harrison.
Yeah,
45 is probably the better division
for Pacheco.
For both of them, to be honest, but definitely for Pacheco.
For Pacheco, for sure, not for both of them. Yeah, I think Cyborg at 55
probably benefits better at 55,
and Kayla benefits are better at 55 too.
Yes,
because Kayla's huge
woman.
So I would say I would have to look at like the side by sides and try to figure out if Kayla is bigger than Chris. I don't think she is. This is a tough fight for Larissa because I think Cyborg knows how to put together her punches with her grappling better than Kayla does. I don't know how I'm gonna play this. I think it's still playable enough for Larissa.
I don't hate it. I'm gonna pick Larissa.
I'm picking Larissa too.
I thought I was gonna pick Larissa for the upset, but it looks like I'm gonna pick Larissa for the win.
Yeah,
but I understand.
I might flip flop by the end of this week.
If you want to play Pacheco, she is still playable. This for me, dog or pass. So I don't hate you play anybody playing Cyborg.
Yeah,
because Cyborg is a fucking monster as well. So
yeah, and I feel Cyborg is probably one of the tough. She's a tough fight for every girl, obviously.
100%.
I feel like this is a fight that she could surprise a lot of people and just handle business as usual too. And just because if she dispatches a Larissa, I'd be surprised. But if Larissa knocked her out, I wouldn't be surprised. It's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think Larissa's that good. I think Larissa is a top female fighter on the planet right now. I think her takedown defense is really good. Her jiu-jitsu's underrated, and she has mallets for hands. I mean, like, she hits hard, man. I'm going to lean Larissa, but this is a fight where I could definitely change my mind later in the week. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Just follow us on all social media platforms. I may even want to divulge more into tape and just see if I can see something else that I haven't already seen on the tape. This is the hardest fight to call this weekend. This is the best card this weekend, to be frank. Just for all the UFC heads that don't watch PFL, this card is better than the UFC card. I'm just going to be honest with you.
100%.
But if you're asking me, it's Larissa today. It may be Cyborg tomorrow. Give me Larissa Pacheco, but not sure how.
Next fight on the card, and as currently constituted the main event for the PFL Super Fights Battle of the Giants, we have the two Giants, the returning Francis the Predator Ngannou, going one-on-one with Renan Problema Ferreira. Ngannou, 17-3, fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but always forever repping Cameroon, 38 years old. Ferreira, 13-3 overall, fighting out of Brazil, hailing from Brazil, 34 years old. Banger of a fight. You know, I love heavyweight fights in general, sloppy or not. But I'm first of all happy to see Ngannou back in the MMA cage. You know, took a short little hiatus to do his boxing thing. You know, chasing the dream, doing his fucking thing. Arguably beat Tyson Fury.
Arguably.
A little too soon on the comeback here, coming off of that crazy knockout from Anthony Joshua. So I am a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you. The chin, that was bad.
That was a bad knockout.
Bad knockout.
That's a knockout you should sit out a year.
Yes. But
I know it's heavyweight. These boys they're different, but.
Yeah. No, they are different. And this is MMA, right? Doesn't have to be always about the striking. I'm going to be picking Ngannou for the win here. I do trust his boxing.
Yes. It's much cleaner.
He's gotten better. His striking's gotten way better. Also, Ngannou.
He has the wrestling upside, which is crazy.
Not afraid to wrestle. He's got the wrestling upside.
If you looked at like some of the footage that's been getting released with his talk with Akamoto on TV, he's doing a lot of wrestling work on those videos, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
I don't hate him mixing in takedowns or anything on Ferreira here.
Ferreira, I think, is overrated with the wrestling.
He is. Now, Ferreira is very dangerous on the feet.
Yes.
This motherfucker is huge. He
fast.
Hits hard. He's fast. He's long. Yo. This man is a beast among men.
He's a one-of-one, low-key.
Yes. Big Brazilian motherfucker. God damn, he's big.
6'8", does a standing backflip.
Athletic.
And lands on the feet, by the way.
I don't hate a dog shot on Ferreira.
Me either.
Don't hate it by KO. Because that's probably how it's going to go down. But I'm picking Ngannou here. I'm rooting for Ngannou here.
Same.
It might be a little biased, but he's the more complete fighter. He's a little on the older side.
He's a cleanup puncher, though.
He might have some ring rust, so it might take a while. I think he's not going to straight up get crazy with Ferreira. Don't forget,
50-50 on
he's the fucking predator for a reason. He's got hands. Heavy as hell.
Fast.
Give me Ngannou for the win. This fight's not going to distance.
No. With that said, I'm with you on Ngannou, but I'm not completely sold on him winning this fight for a couple of reasons. Coming quick off the AJ knockout, as you mentioned.
Scares the shit out of me.
Recently lost his child.
That's tough to come back from. I mean, mentally. I don't know where he's at mentally.
What he's talked, and he was talking about it on that interview he did with Brett Akamoto on ESPN, how he was considering retirement. And
you never want to hear the
you never want to hear that.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, listen.
He might be coming in there with some fucking serious anger.
Yes.
Coming off the loss from AJ, losing his child unto unfortunate circumstances.
You don't want to be in the way of that man.
No. And I feel like those words, though, with the R word, it scares me a lot because, I mean, what else could he do? He dropped the heavyweight champion. There's a lot of people, including myself, I thought he won the fight, to be frank.
Yeah. A little biased, but maybe not. Who knows?
It was close. It was close.
He didn't put Tyson on his ass. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm not arguing Tyson lost the fight. If you want to say Tyson won the fight, I get it.
You got it.
But I just feel like the round he won, there wasn't a lot of action, and Ngannou was pressing the action.
Yeah.
Coming off the loss of his child, he kind of mentioned that he's fighting for him at this point, which can be a good thing or a very bad thing. Says his kid never really got to see him fight, so he doesn't want his kid's legacy to be honored by him retiring from a sport that has provided so much for him, as well as a sport that he never really got to witness his dad compete in.
That's deep.
It's a very scary line to tote with Ngannou. With that said, I think he is the rightful favorite in this fight. I think he has the cleaner boxing, he has the wrestling upside. He's going to be stronger than him, in my opinion. I think so, yeah. I think people just underestimate how strong this fucking guy is. He's been through so much in his life. I think he's very good at compartmentalizing, considering what he's been through prior to the loss of his son, prior to getting knocked out by Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, just look at his life story. It's fucking tremendous.
And the way he handled Joshua was impressive.
Yeah.
Like the loss, like he was very honest with it and let it go. I think the bets are Ferreira first, second rounds, but I think inevitably Ngannou probably gets him out in the second or third round with a knockout, either via ground and pound or Ferreira just gassing out to the point. Either via knockout or Ferreira just gassing out to the point where he can't defend himself. Give me Ngannou and give me Ferreira possibly as a dog play from his some of the long shot props that we can play for him. But give me Ngannou as the lean for the win, and I'm rooting for him. Francis Ngannou via knockout. Don't hate the sub play. We'll be looking into the prop if it's there, but Francis Ngannou for sure ICD.
And that does it for the PFL Supercard pay-per-view. We got one more fight to cover. We're going to move over to the Sweet Science. We're moving over to a PBC card that I really haven't seen too much promotion behind. And it is currently being main evented by favorite fighter of mine, Tim Tszyu. He's going to be fighting for the IBF Which belt is this? IBF World Super Welterweight title.
Yep.
Against, let me not butcher this man's name, Bakhram Murtazaliev.
Yes, beautiful.
Damn, fucking nailed it.
Fucking nailed it.
I'm getting used to these Russian names. So we got Murtazaliev going one-on-one with Tim Tszyu. Let me set this one up. Murtazaliev is 22-0, perfect. The defending champion, fighting out of California, but repping Russia, 31 years old. Tim Tszyu, the Soul Taker, 24-1. The challenger, fighting out of Australia, hailing from Australia, 29 years old.
For one, I don't like that Bakhram's name is on the front of this card before Tim Tszyu. It should be Tim Tszyu. It should be Tszyu versus Murtazaliev. That's one.
Well, but listen, he is the champion. You got to give him a little respect.
Fuck that. That's one.
Okay.
Two.
Talk to me. Break this one down, bro.
Two, he's 22-0. Bakhram, 16 knockouts. He's got some decent power, particularly early in the fights. I tell you what, though, he's fought a lot of nobodies, to be frank. I don't think he's really fought anyone that's relevant or anyone that stands out, in my opinion, or that's exceptional, except for his last fight, which is Jack Colque. Colque is a 39-year-old veteran. He's had losses before. He's never been stopped, so to Bakhram's credit, because he did stop him in the fight, did stop him. But the guy's 39 years old, and that fight was down the middle on my scorecard before the stoppage. Jack was able to walk him down in certain spots. And by the way, walk him down as the smaller man, because Bakhram's way bigger than him. Walk him down with his hands down, put mitts on him, put him in bad positions, wobble him a few times, hurt him, and win rounds. Bakhram was able to reverse that energy, put it together with his power punching early in the fight where he dropped him, and then late in the fight as he got two or more and just legitimately like hurt him and put him away with volume and power punching to the head and the body. With that said, I feel like this is a fight that Tim Tszyu is probably going to work him for a couple of reasons.
This is going to be a fight that's going to not last a long time, but it's definitely going to be a fucking good time.
Bakhram, very strong initially in fights, tends to gas in his fights later in the fight. Jack showed that, exposed that by putting him on his back foot. Tim Tszyu, complete pressure fighter, knows how to push you back, knows how to cut off the ring, lands very good body shots, very good chin. I feel like if Bakhram can't hurt him early, it's just a matter of time before Tim, who is a slow starter, begins to land damage and put him away with vicious power punching to the body and to the head. Give me Tim Tszyu by stoppage, mid to late rounds here. I think he's going to pack him up. I think he's going to fuck him up, to be frank. I think this IBF belt is always flonky with who's holding it. And I feel bad for Tim because if he did not catch that elbow from Fedora, he would still be the guy in this division. I worry about the damage from that fight, but
I don't.
Not to the point where he has sat down enough and taken rest enough to get ready for this fight. This guy is a big puncher early. Tim does have some defensive capabilities very well early. But even if he does get hit, he has a good chin. He has a very good chin. I just feel like he's going to break this guy down and stop him mid to late rounds. Give me Tim Tszyu by knockout, mid to late rounds here. I think Tim Tszyu is very slept on. I think Tim Tszyu is very ducked. Jermell Charlo should have fought this guy already. And Bakhram is just a guy holding a belt for a guy who I think is probably the best fighter at 54.
And he's probably going to be fighting for Undisputed here.
Yeah, him and Terrence Crawford is a fight that's eventually going to happen. And that fight, all bets are off.
I love that fight.
That fight is incredible.
Sign me the fuck up.
Give me Tszyu, mid to late rounds, knockout.
And that does it for all of our coverage here. We covered two MMA bouts, MMA cards, and, touched a little bit on that sweet science, but, it is what it is. We're done. We're trying to wrap this joint up. We're going way too motherfucking long. So let's wrap it up. My brother, take it away.
You already know the business. Like, comment, subscribe, follow Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
Everybody enjoying these visuals right now. Don't forget to like, because it does help the damn algorithm. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Leave a damn comment. We want to hear from you. We love you guys.
And for all of our audio listeners, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcast, you already know the deal. For all the UFC heads that listen to this podcast, please don't sleep on that PFL
card.
That PFL card.
Yeah.
That PFL card is fucking loaded. It is the card of the weekend.
Banger.
Please tune into it. It's a great card. Love you guys. Enjoy the Tim Tszyu fight as well. Holla at you guys. See you next week for episode 74. Love you. Take it easy. Till next time.